Hi, this is Todd again with Cemetery Walks, here for another interesting historic cemetery. I'm currently at Rose Hill near downtown Meridian. So sit back, relax, and let's get on our walk.
Cemetery walks. Come on a journey through the veil of time, where the voices of the lost in the silence chime. With every step, their stories rise through the mist where history lies. Cemetery walks will find their trace, unravel the lifetime can't erase. Cemetery walks, the past comes alive when history talks. Cemetery walks, the past comes alive when history talks.
So first we have Confederate Mound, I believe is what it's called. Just a Confederate memorial. This one is for Charles W. Reed, May 13th, 1840 to January 25th, 1890. It says Charles W. Savez Reed, a naval hero of the Confederacy. Lieutenant Reed, a native Mississippian, is buried here. He was an 1860 graduate of Annapolis with a crew of 17. He captured 22 Union ships in 21 days and struck terror across the eastern seaboard. This adventure had been called the most brilliant daredevil naval action of the war. Wow. So we have the memorial there, our Confederate dead, 1861 to 1865. A burial mound at Rose Hill Cemetery contains the remains of more than 100 Confederate soldiers. Nebraska Carter Reed also rests here alongside her husband, Lieutenant Charles W. Reed, the John Paul Jones of the Confederate Navy. And this looks to be those who are buried here. Here's another one dedicated to the memory of the men from Texas who are known to be buried here, and to all brave Texans who pass this way. Nothing is ended until it is forgotten. And it lists Sergeant John L. Killa, Private Henry Stockhard, Private John Taylor, Private John H. Skurlock, Private R.R. Flournoy. And for some, service to their country is the greatest sacrifice. To others, it's the highest honor we remember. So as you can tell, it is an older cemetery. I'm sure it's been here since the early to mid 1800s. I don't have the exact history, but I'll put it up there now. And we'll do just a quick walkthrough. I'm on my way back to my neck of the woods, and I said, well, is there any place that I could stop that's, kind of on the way, not too much off the beaten path? And this one showed up, so I said, okay, well, let's take a look. And you're truly up on a hill here overlooking Meridian down here. And here we have Samuel W. Kendall, Mississippi, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army, World War I and II. May 29th, 1897 to August 25th, 1958. And we have Jonathan Harrison Culpepper, 1834 to 1911, with wife Susan Preston Culpepper, born December 25th, 1853, and died January 10th, 1892. You have here Izzard, Early. These are Terry's. Thomas J. Terry, November 6, 1833 to die. And you have Thomas Terry, born December 6, 1833, died October 1st, 1878. And wife, 1838 to 1908. You have John G. Boswell, September 6, 1860 to December 9th, 1913. And Eliza Terry Boswell must be the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Terry, June 20th, 1871 to October 6th, 1951. We have a VA marker here. Captain Samuel J. Randall, Company K, 3rd Mississippi Infantry, Confederate States Army, 1816 to November 24th, 1880. Thank you much for your service, sir. So that's what I'm primarily looking at today. If there's things, there's a lot of obelisks here, and I guess some of them stand out, like this one here being probably one of the larger ones here. George William Meyer, September 16th, 1838 to October 15th, 1906. That one has a fern leaf there, which is pretty cool. We have the Sturges. Even earlier, we have Theodore Sturges, November 15th, 1829 to May 6th, 1916. And Alice Sturges, July 4th, 1850 to December 9th, 1898. Looks like we have some Witherspoons back there. Trying to make sure I don't step on anything. Oh, that's interesting there too. Must be a child. And the top of it's broke off. Looks like they tried to piece it back together, but it broke again. Another child here. Little Lambert Benoit. Little bird, it says at the top. Son of S.A. and S.E. Witherspoon, October 28, 1890 to May 9, 1891. We have the Witherspoons here. Samuel A., May 4th, 1855 to November 24th, 1915. And Susan E., February 27th, 1857 to April 11th, 1933.
Samuel Andrew Witherspoon was a lawyer, educator, and politician closely associated with Meridian in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. He served in the U.S. House of Representatives for Mississippi from 1911 to 1915 and was a prominent legal and political figure in the region.
Did you know that actress Reese Witherspoon and Samuel Andrew Witherspoon share the same historic family roots? Both are descendants of John Witherspoon, a Scottish-born Presbyterian minister who became president of Princeton University and one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He was a mentor to many revolutionary leaders at the time. He even taught our future president James Madison at Princeton and strongly influenced Madison's thinking about Republican government and religious liberty.
These are the Ragsdales. It's a pretty one. We have George McElroy or McElroy Ragsdale, January 13th, 1859 to September 4th, 1881. Wow. We have Sarah Ann, Lewis Andrew Ragsdale Sr. Wow. So far, this is the earliest birth that I've seen. Lewis Andrew Ragsdale Sr., November 20th, 1819 to December 10th, 1886.
Lewis A. Ragsdale and John T. Ball founded Meridian, Mississippi in 1853. It was officially incorporated in 1860. The name Meridian was chosen after a disagreement among both founders over what the settlement should be called. Ragsdale wanted to name the town Ragsdale City after himself, while Ball preferred the name Sawashi after Sawashi Creek, a nearby creek whose name came from the Choctaw language. Neither man would agree to the other one's choice, so to break the stalemate, they asked a third man involved with the development of the town, Dr. R. H. W. Jaron. Jaron suggested the name Meridian. His reasoning was tied to geography and transportation. The town sat near the geographic center, or meridian, of the region. It was expected to become a major railroad junction connecting lines running north, south, east, and west.
Now here's Mr. George W. Chandler. Even earlier, born October 20th, 1802, died September 13th, 1884. And we have J. L. Chandler, Corporal, Company H, 36 Mississippi Infantry, Confederate States Army. And we have Hubert Ray Chandler, Cox, U.S. Navy, World War II. April 25th, 1924 to May 5th, 2007. Thank you very much for your service, sir. Both of you. This looks to be another Confederate headstone. J.G. Hunter, Company F, 46 Mississippi Infantry. Thank you much for your service, sir. We'll come back through past here. I tell you what, this cemetery is very well maintained. Considering you're in a small, southern town in Mississippi, it could just as easily be overgrown and ill-treated. I saw there's a marker here. Oh, behind this wall and fence line. But you also have the Harrises here. Beautiful. Right there. J.H. Harris, December 20th, 1814 to February 3rd, 1865. With S.G. Harris, February 21st, 1814 to October 6th, 1878. And these are the Hanleys. Mr. Hanley Kelly here. James Ainsworth Kelly, February 2nd, 1855 to August 20th, 1905. Well, he was a Mason. Have Fanny there. I love this cast iron work. And then you have this cast iron plot here, or fence, the plot here. Dr. W.R. Bennett, born in Madison County, North Carolina, born February 24th, 1822, died October 2nd, 1882. And Miss Mary died December 11th, 1869, age 72 years. So she was born in 1797. Look how this one has basically sank into the ground there as that vault collapsed. We have the Taylors here. John T. Taylor, born in Sumter County, Alabama, September 13th, 1842, and died April 23rd, 1882.
John Taylor was the mayor of Meridian from April of 1878 to April of 1882. He was then re-elected for his second term on December of 1880. Sadly, he died before completing that second term.
I see another marker over here. I don't know if that's the same one I saw before. No, it's not. Here we have John A. Thompson Davis, Alabama Artillery, Confederate States Army, September 2nd, 1838, February 8th, 1910. Thank you much for your service, sir. And here we have Private William W. Thompson. That would be Company B, 1st Alabama Artillery, Confederate States Army, October 3rd, 1828 to November 21st, 1914. Thank you much for your service, sir. We have Robert F. Houston, or it might be Houston here as well. That's how they pronounce it in Georgia. It's Houston. Born in Blount County, Tennessee, August 28th, 1802. Died in Meridian, Mississippi, April 25th, 1889. Along with his spouse, Anne Gillespie, April 29th, 1802, and died August 22nd, 1880. We have quite a few. 6, 8, 16 memorials here. I don't know if they're actually buried here or not. First, we have Colonel Kennon McElroy, 13th Mississippi Infantry, 1840 to 1863. Private Calvin J. Skinner, Company G, Mississippi Infantry, CSA, 1830 to May 22nd, 1862. We have John T. Gifford, Private, Company F, 35th Mississippi, 1820 to October 4th, 1862. John McLeod, Private, Company E, 24th Alabama Infantry, September 22nd, 1829 to November 30th, 1864. And then on the back side here, Private John R. Curry, Company F, 13th Mississippi, 1847 to June 8th, 1864. Charles W. Musgrove, Private, Company I, 40th Mississippi Infantry, July 8th, 1838 to June 24th, 1862. Corporal Granville B. Henderson, Company K, 13th Mississippi Infantry, February 8th, 1828 to June 1st, 1893. Private William L. Calhoun, Company I, 5th Alabama Regiment, 1844 to June 21st, 1863. Malcolm McLeod, Private, Company E, 32nd Alabama Infantry, April 3rd, 1824 to December 20th, 1863. Private David McAuliffe, Company I, 35th Mississippi Infantry, Confederate States Army, 1830 to August 14th, 1862. Malcolm Calhoun, wonder if he's related to Mr. William L. Company K, 13th Mississippi, 1839 to August 12th, 1861. Private Abe Klein, Company A, 42nd Alabama Infantry, April 15th, 1841 to January 25th, 1934. He survived the war, definitely. The few other ones did not. Bernard E. Gold, Company G, 8th Alabama Infantry, March 6, 1838 to October 20th, 1891. Private William Height, Company K, 18th Mississippi, September 1st, 1847, January 17th, 1921. Second Lieutenant Christopher Adams, Company C, 18th Mississippi, Confederate States Army, May 12th, 1836 to October 30th, 1907. And then finally we have Private William W. Durr, Company E, 13th Mississippi, February 7th, 1844 to December 11th, 1862. To all of you gentlemen, thank you very much for your service and sacrifice. Here we have Cephas W. Gooden, Iowa, Private, First Class, 10th Company, Transportation Corps, February 8th, 1929. Thank you much for your service, sir. This is J.W. Buston, Company F, 36 Mississippi, November 27th, 1837 to October 23rd, 1922. Thank you much for your service, sir. What Well, I guess depending on how new some of the graves are, what's interesting is there's not a lot of what I consider modern graves. Saw one from World War I and II. The rest have all been Confederate or Civil War era. And I thought there was some Union troops buried here as well. And now that I say that, look here. Oh, this is Spanish-American War. Corporal Percy L. Martin, Company I, 1st Mississippi Infantry, Spanish-American War. Thank you much for your service, sir. I see another Confederate marker here. Those are a little bit easier to spot. Ordnance Sergeant Joseph R. Mitchell, Company A, 37th Mississippi, 1836 to November 18th, 1902. Thank you much for your service, sir. Well, that concludes our walk here. I definitely want to come back here at a later date and take a little more time with it. However, it was very interesting to have the Confederate memorial here with the mass grave of 100 Confederate soldiers, and to see in the back down at the bottom of the hill, those markers, whether they're actually buried here or not. I have to do a little research and find that out. If you would, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time a video gets dropped. Thank you very much. You have a blessed one, and we'll see you on our next walk.